Hi, my name is Dizzy, and when I was 20 years old, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I'm 27 years old now, so for 4 of these 7 years, the first 4 years, I was very much lost in the grips and the depths of schizophrenia, well, delusion and despair. But like, the last 3 years have been quite smooth. There have been a few hiccups, but what's that but a little bit, just a few sips of water. You know what I mean? Anyway, you're looking at a high-functioning schizo. No, that doesn't mean I'm high on drugs. In fact, drugs are the worst thing you can do as a schizophrenic. Especially like psychedelics, like smoking weed. People think that's harmless, but that's really bad for a schizophrenic brain, okay? Let me just put that out there. You really have to cut that out unless you want it to generate, which, if you want to do that, I have like no say in your life, but it's probably unwise. Okay, anyway. So in this video, I would like to detail to you some of the positive and negative symptoms of schizophrenia that I experienced, some of them. When you say positive and negative symptom, think of it mathematically and not connotatively, okay? Positive, additional features that a schizophrenic has that non-schizos do not have. Generally, hallucinations and delusions. Negative symptoms, something we don't have that you normal people have. Lack of interest, well, some of you. Lack of interest in the outside world and other individuals. Lack of motivation, sometimes a lack of like facial expressions, sometimes a lack of intonation of the voice. Some have experienced lack of pleasure, lack of ability to feel pleasure or enjoy things. And I want to, so in the first half of the video, I'm going to talk about the positive symptoms, but in the last half, I want to go in on why I think these negative symptoms occur. And I feel like I haven't found a satisfactory explanation on that in anything I've read online. They list the symptoms and describe them, but it's not really well explained why it occurs. And I feel like as a schizo myself, I think I have insight into that. I also want to try to help you break out of some of these negative symptoms if you so choose to want that. But first, let's get into the juicy stuff. I'm going to tell you about my hallucinations and delusions. Whew! Whew, this is going to be embarrassing, but let's go there, okay? So with hallucinations, it's not just seeing things and hearing things. You feel things touching you that aren't touching you, or smell things that are nowhere around you, and you even taste things that hopefully exist nowhere in nature. And the most disturbing hallucination was, for me personally, a tasting hallucination for, let me give you a little verbal illustration. Imagine you're just sitting there and out of nowhere you get a flavor, and you don't have any questions. You think to yourself, this is unmistakably the flavor of pedophilia. Yeah, it really impacted my psyche profoundly. Like, it affected me. It was quite striking. And when you think of pedophilia, which I hope you don't, but when you think of that concept, like, it's awful enough, but then to sense it in a way that hits you in a manner that makes sense to your brain, it's a bit of a messed up experience. And I mean, it's interesting and like explorational, but not everyone will see it that way. If I had to describe that flavor, it would have to be abstractly, because I don't know a lot of terminology. I don't know the right terminology to describe it, but okay, here we go. It's like a sad blue flavor that is a little bit sweet, and it has like hints of, the smell of nail polish remover, like that smell. Imagine that translated into like a taste, just a little like hints of that, and chalk with like a chalky taste with not texture, just taste. And it wasn't very concentrated. It was like reverb taste that went through the mouth, and It's like a poison. It reminded me of like a poison. Like if it were a substance, it would be poisonous to take. Makes sense, right? Moving on. Okay, so the olfactory hallucinations were pretty cool. Like you'd smell like you're just sitting there, and then you like smell a really nostalgic smell that just whips you back into kindergarten. Visual hallucinations were also cool. Sometimes I still get them sometimes, and it's not necessarily seeing things in the world that aren't there. I had that sometimes, but no, mostly for me it was like seeing beautiful portraits in my head of. I saw orcas like jumping over waves in front of a sunset with like a pretty little dove from Jesus flying above them. And I saw like an evil windmill that was owned by my ex who lives in the Netherlands, and it was him, and he was the evil mastermind of this evil windmill that was trying to kill me. And he's not a bad guy, he's a decent dude, good guy, he's good enough, yeah. But he was evil back then in my head, and not really, but yeah. I mean, not in reality, but in my inner reality, he was trying to kill me and everyone that spoke to me. I don't know. Okay. And nowadays, sometimes I just close my eyes and I see like cool outfits. Like if I've been browsing for outfits on Amazon or something, I close my eyes and I see just all kind of cool like pimp, like woo, got it, you know. Anyway, okay. So that's for that. Auditory hallucinations, definitely. I don't hear my own voice when I think. I don't hear any sound. It's weird. I just think the words without frequency or timbre, which makes sense in the last part. But no, I hear like, it's weird, but I'd get like the stream of cognitive delusions is what I called it, and I would get thoughts in my head that were from other individuals in my head, and I did hear sounds. I heard like music. I'd hear songs like created by my brain, and they were good. I'd see music videos. I saw one with like Sango from Inuyasha, and it was like so cool, and she was dancing and doing cool ninja stuff. That was pretty interesting. I know, it's like I can't hear my voice in my head. I know some people do. And some people have told me I have a nice voice, and I appreciate that, but I would be annoyed if I had to hear myself in my head all day, because my house is loud sometimes, and it's like, I need quiet. Okay, so I like quietness. Schizophrenics like quietness, believe me. Alright. Now, to get into the delusions, oh boy, okay. Several subsets of delusions that are typical and common among schizophrenics. I had many delusions of grandeur, and I probably still do. But no, I thought like I was like a great fighter, you know? I thought I was like, you know, I thought I could go, like I was on par with Jet Li, for instance. Yeah. Okay. I thought I was gonna end the world and usher in the apocalypse because everyone sucks. That's not a delusion. But, yeah, weird stuff. I thought I was like Jesus once as a woman. Pretty uncomfortable. Pretty funny. Anyway, there's another, like, subset of delusions called erotomania, and that's when the schizophrenic thinks that a celebrity or, like, a political figure is seeking their affections, and I had that, for sure. Okay, but in my defense, okay, one of these celebrities did actually flirt with me in real life, and it was true. I had screenshots, because I was like, I was young, whatever. If you're watching this, no, I won't say who you are, don't worry. Like, I know you might want me to promote you, but I don't think you need more attention from schizophrenics. Anyway. I also had a little thing with Bill Hicks. That was quite cool. It was famous, legendary comedian Bill Hicks, and he wasn't, like, always such a jokester, okay? He was quite poetic. He did make me laugh a lot, though. Rest in peace to him. I had a thing with Jim Morrison. Hallelujah, rest in peace. That's gross, I'm not like that, but okay, whatever. Anyway. Another type of delusions, I should have said this first because this is what everyone knows, quite popular, persecution delusions, where you think everyone's out to get you, and I thought everyone was out to get me. I thought my mom was trying to kill me, my grandfather. I thought my whole family wanted to kill me. I thought they were all, like, looking at me sexually. I thought inanimate objects were trying to kill me. Yeah. I remember I thought my grandfather was, like, fake sleeping on the couch, waiting to, like, attack me. So I was standing over him with a knife, waiting for him to move, and he woke up, and he just looked at me and zoomed out the front door. I was institutionalized that night. Alright, okay. So, let's see. I think that's all I want to go into with the delusions, but as for the negative symptoms, so lack of motivation, lack of interest in the outside world and other people, I feel like that's all interconnected, and it happens because, you see, what happens with the schizophrenic is our thoughts are more real to us than the actual world. And even now, as a high-functioning schizophrenic, I still have aspects that lean into that type of thinking. Like, I get very immersed in my thoughts that go from place to place, and it's quite gratifying, and it can, you know, amusing, and you get feedback from it, and it's like an exploration of sorts, and you kind of get all you need in your head. And even if the thought is like a bad, negative thought, it still widens your mind and takes you to different mental realms, and that's all alright, but it's not very giving. It's quite selfish, and honestly, there's a lot of gratification to be gained from doing things in this world, so that'll bring you more happiness from other people if you know, love people at all. And I think you might. You'll have to forgive me. So my camera cut off, and what I was saying was you can break out of these negative symptoms by journaling every day. So that's what I do. You write a category that you want to get better in, and write what you want to do to get better in that category. Doesn't matter what it is. Even if it's tying shoelaces, like, hey, I want to be the best at tying shoelaces, and today I'm going to tie my shoelaces into a noose. And that's a dope idea. You should write it down. Okay, so we also get a lack of facial expression or monotone voice, lack of intonation of the voice, and that is like a sort of, I think it's from, when I was in the depths of my delusions, I remember feeling really constrained because I didn't want anyone to read me, and that's why I would get like a poker face effect, and I would try to, it would be like an effort to really talk. So another thing is, we are so much in our heads that we just don't get emotionally attached to our expressions. So that's a thing. If you want to break out of that, try getting animated. Look into that, you know. Lack of pleasure. It might be hard to enjoy something if you have voices like guilting you for things you did in elementary school. Yeah, you might be trying to enjoy a cheesecake or something, and all of a sudden you'll hear in your head, remember when you punched little Johnny? So, that's a thing. I feel like that's all I really wanted to get into in this video. And in the next video, I think I'm going to talk about my time in the psych wards. Should be interesting, shouldn't it? Thank you for watching.